Hey everyone, welcome back to Psalms in Quarantine. And today we're going to be reading from Psalm 52. And in Psalm 52, there's a background story. It's the story of Doeg the Edomite. And he's a guy who he wanted to make friends with Saul. And so what he did was that he left David, went to Saul, and told Saul where David was when Saul was hunting. And you can read this whole story in 1 Samuel chapter 22. A bunch of people got killed because of this guy's desire to sort of inform and get money and get power for himself. And so Psalm 52 is David sort of writing basically to Doeg and to God about this whole situation. So I'm going to read this to you now. Psalm 52, 1-9. Why do you boast of evil, you mighty hero? Why do you boast all day long, you who are a disgrace in the eyes of God? You who practice deceit, your tongue plots destruction. It is like a sharpened razor. You love evil rather than good, falsehood rather than speaking the truth. You love every harmful word, you deceitful tongue. Surely God will bring you down to everlasting ruin. He will snatch you up and pluck you up from your tent. He will uproot you from the land of the living. The righteous will see and fear. They will laugh at you, saying, here now is the man who did not make God his stronghold, but trusted in his great wealth and grew strong by destroying others. But I am like an olive tree, flourishing in the house of God. I trust in God's unfailing love forever and ever. For what you have done, I will always praise you in the presence of your faithful people, and I will hope in your name, for your name is good. So here you can see David really taking Doeg to task for all the things that he's done. But we notice that what David is seeing in this guy's behavior is not necessarily just what he said, what he did, and the rest of what happened, but what he comes down to, and I think this is like an insight of David's, is that the problem with Doeg is what he loves. He loves being popular. He loves being popular with the powerful. And he loves it so much that he was willing to sacrifice other people's lives to get that affirmation, to feel powerful, to feel in the know, to be connected to the king. He thought that what he was doing was clever. He has this Machiavellian design that has led to this behavior, but he doesn't get it. He doesn't realize that that's not what is going to happen. And you don't have to see movies or read great stories of the past to know that even humans who don't know God, everyone knows that if you use others to get ahead, if you destroy others to get ahead, all of those plans to get money and to get power, they don't end up well. Every single time it ends up in the destruction and the punishment of the person. Because in the end, you can't live like that. That's not the way human society is supposed to work. And even people that try to develop, places where it all falls apart every single time. Doesn't matter how powerful they become, they fall. And so here David is saying, it's not going to work like that. And in the end, people will look and they will say, this is the guy that thought he was smarter than God. And then David turns to God in this praise at the end. And he says, but I want to be like the olive tree. Now, the olive tree is one of the longest living trees. You can go to Jerusalem, different parts of the country, and you will see trees that are hundreds and hundreds of years old. And the reason he wants to be like the olive tree, because he sees that as an image of following God. That's what it's like to follow God. You stay with him, you are rooted in him, and so your life is everlasting because you're with him. You're living according to that plan, and you're receiving your life, the water. You're receiving your essence from him and not from trying to figure it out yourself. And that, I think, is what is so amazing about this psalm. So as we go about our day, and as we think about the way that we want to live, the choices that we're making, let's remember it's not about power. It's not about this other stuff. It's about loving. It's about serving. It's about living the way that God lived, and the way that he lives today, and the way that he points us. So I hope that has encouraged you, maybe even convicted you. I know that sometimes I can lose my compass and forget which way is north. So I hope that encourages you today. Go ahead, read Psalm 52 for yourself. You can go back to 1 Samuel 22, have a look at the story, and let's learn these lessons, because they happen all around us, but if we don't see them around us, at least we can see them in Scripture. God bless, guys.